Hey y'all, welcome back. Redneck Zone Comics. Again, I'm Daniel.
Mark.
David.
Today, Dave's starting off again. He's doing Batman Damned #1, so we'll let him take it on.
Yeah, you guys picked me to do the Batwing comic book.
Well, before you get started, Joshua Ferguson asked for this to be reviewed, so I just want to throw a shout out to him.
It's a good book to review. Um, Read the book, liked the book. Artwork, phenomenal, all the way through. That was one that from start to finish, crisp, tight. Every panel was just on point. The storyline, this is one coming from their new Black Label series, so it's a little darker, um, with the mood and the setting of the city and the things going on. Some things going on with Batman. Most people that have read this, the big story in this one is Joker has been killed. They don't know who did it. Batman can't remember. He has amnesia. And it gets started into who had the chance or the drive to want to do that to him, other than Batman. Everybody's looking at Batman. The book does come to you from Constantine, John Constantine, from his point of view, not from Batman's point of view. Also has a character not many people are currently aware of called Deadman. Boston Brand was his name, and
That's a character from like '80s.
yeah, back when you were. And,
Can't help
but
it, girl.
they've changed up his story a little bit in this. Used to he was able to um, acquire a host body for a pretty good period of time before he had to change into another host where he's dead and is able to possess him and do that. This one, there's very, very limited on how long they let him have a body. So it's jumping around with him trying to get information to it. And that's a little disturbing I'm trying to keep up with, because they only give him maybe a minute in a body. So he is trying to tell somebody something, and he goes from one body, then to another body, then, just kind of hard to keep up with. Other than, like I said, the jumping around like that, coming from Constantine's point of view, it shows kind of the mindset that Batman is going through in this one. It's like I said, it's a little darker, little hard to follow, because it does take a few liberties with some of the characters that we are more familiar with, and doing that. But overall, I really liked the book. Like I said, phenomenal artwork all the way through. And it does. You do have like I said, the infamous picture drawing in there that made the price of it skyrocket after it came out.
Yeah, it's crazy. Just because it's just a silhouette.
Yeah, it's
it
not.
ain't like
Yeah.
It's nothing worse than it had been shown in any kind of independent.
Oh no. No, I mean this is.
But
just,
I guess since it was Batman's,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. When you go to showing a high profile person like that and showing his junk,
But we was talking earlier. It's still what, a $70 book,
Yeah.
if not more.
Staying constant.
Yeah.
It's a good, if you can pick it up for less than 50, grab you a copy, because they're hard to find, going to continue to be hard to find.
Yeah.
And with it coming from a Constantine kind of perspective, it's bound to be dark anyways, because anybody knows anything about Constantine, he's not all there in the head to begin with.
No. And this, like I said, he is trying to narrate the story from what he sees Batman going through. Yeah, it's definitely a different take on it. But I enjoyed that because it was a good mix-up
Oh yeah.
from a normal, what we've had the last few years of a Batman story.
But you said the dead man, he's jumping around from body to body, and that got kind of irritated.
Yeah.
But it kind of puts you in that, to me, it seemed like it would put you in the place of that character at the time, because, they're going to be getting aggravated, having to, hear from this person, and all of a sudden switch to a different person.
Right.
So it kind of keeps you into that role.
Yeah, and he's trying to talk to Batman, but in one section there, he goes from a guy to a girl to a dog, and then back to a guy.
Yeah.
So it's all boom. He gets a few words, and then he has to switch, and then a few words.
And Batman, how he is.
Yeah.
That had to be driving him crazy.
And in this, he's already nuts because he can't remember
Okay.
what's happened. He's used to being in control and knowing what, being prepared, always a step ahead. This one, he's not. He is coming totally out of left field, not knowing what's going on, and like I said, it's a different story, but it's a good story.
Okay.
So, definite recommend.
What age?
Age, I would put 14 up. Just
So
because-
again, the Wang wasn't that big of a deal.
No. If you didn't know that it was in the book and you were just flipping through the book, you wouldn't have even seen it.
Yeah.
It's that dark of a silhouette.
What would you rate the artwork?
Artwork, I'm 9.5.
Okay.
It's
Storyline?
storyline. The jumping around a little bit and everything. I'm gonna have to drop down. Good storyline and all, but it just didn't
Just hard to
flow.
follow.
Yeah, didn't flow as good as it could have.
Yeah.
And I would have to drop down to an 8 on it. As of right now, I'm still reading. I read the first book, but I've got the others, and I'm still going through it. But
Well, they're only out. They've been postponing number 3 for a long time.
They have,
Yeah.
and they postponed it again.
again, okay.
Did you ever read it?
I did not. Had a copy for myself and had somebody else want it more than I did. So I sold it.
I've been asked about selling my copy. Yeah.
Well, I was supposed to have a copy sent back for me, and I didn't get it. They shorted him, and I didn't get my copy. But I wasn't going to pay $70 for it either, so $60 at the time.
We were expecting more of them to come in, and they never showed up.
Well,
But that's part of the game, yeah.
It sold out within 30 minutes or so. wasn't it?
Yeah, if you got shorted, you
Yeah.
might as well
Yeah.
kiss it goodbye. Yeah,
Kind of like the Savage Adventures last week.
yeah. I hesitated. And they was gone.
Yeah. So did I.
But good thing about them so far, it hasn't skyrocketed like this one yet. So,
Yes, definitely.
but he said he approved it. Said it was good.
Yeah, definitely good read. Definitely need to pick it up. Like I said, about the only place you're gonna find it now is online. Yeah, you can't order anymore, can you?
No. I won't be able to order them until they compile them. All 3 books. When all 3 books come out, they'll do a compilation of them, I'm sure.
But,
Which I might have a lead on 1 and 2. I don't know exactly how much yet, but I might. So
I've got.
with that review, I'll try to pick them up if they're the right price.
Yeah, I might not charge you too much to read them.
Oh, okay.
But while we got you here, Dave, we know that there has been a significant event take place in your life this past week. Would you like to tell us that? About that?
Yes, I have been blessed with a new grandson, Cameron Howard Watson. I call him Squirt. That's a nickname for another time. And but healthy, mom and dad doing good. He was 6 pounds 3 ounces and 19 inches long. Yeah, just as healthy as he can be.
Well, we want to congratulate you.
Definitely.
Welcome to the comic family.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so he will definitely be getting his fair share. Now I don't have to continually look for Disney and
Yeah,
those
yeah.
type for Nevaeh.
yeah, you can kind of sprout out where you
Yeah,
like and everything. But when he gets,
I'm gonna pause it, so you just have to actually move them people, so we don't have a long feeds going on, so if you're talking. And it will just pop up the next person being the same.
but I don't get to introduce him or nothing. That's just cracker. Yeah, just, the part of watching them walk up is the fun part. Because he's usually about to fall down. No, I'm just playing. Go ahead, Ryan. Who's next? If you want to go last, that's fine. No.
Don't worry.
I know. Let's take the climb
You're rolling around.
Huh?
You're rolling, blazing balls, dude.
crap review. He's got the crap review. He can go last.
Well, we are kind of alive again. Because Blaze hit the button. So, well, come on in.
Wonderful day in the neighborhood, y'all.
And our flipping tech guy screws it again. No, I'm just playing. Whoa. Harley,
Harley.
what number?
Harley Quinn number 57.
Another hard
Thanks for
book to
introducing
find
me to that guy.
at that particular.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, he screwed up. Hey, welcome, Black Hammer. We kind of had a different plan in mind this time, but it didn't work out, thanks to our tech guy. But Black Hammer, we appreciate you being here.
Always a pleasure. Highlight of the week.
I'll let you go ahead and start on your Harley.
Oh, I mean, this is my wife actually. She's a real big Harley fan, and I mean, as far as DC goes, Harley's probably everyone's favorite villainess right now. Like, you know, because everyone's just not jumping in the comic scene, and I was a little iffy about jumping on something like that because, you know, I'm not usually into the villainess or not being sexist or anything, but I just, you know, other than Supergirl and Selena Kyle, I'm just not big on. You know, I don't know, testosterone. It's my thing. Men in tights. But well, I bought this for her, and the other day we were on our way to Johnson City, and I was like, she's like, hey, I got my comic book. I was like, well, you know, why don't you read it? So she gets into it, and she's reading it. And we finally make it to where we're going. I'm like, give me that comic book. So I'm going through it myself, and I fell in love with this storyline, which is so nice to say that I enjoyed reading this book after last week's horrible review. Aquaman number 1, he's still number 0 in my book. Okay, but either way, I mean, the way they framed it, everything in this book was fantastic. And it's one of those storylines, like you said, it's hard to find, but this was a story that at the end, it left you crying for more. I was on the edge of my seat, which is really bad when you're driving around a lake. But I mean, it was.
So you was reading and driving?
She was reading. I was driving.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then when we stopped, I got to look at the.
Oh, she
artwork.
read it to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
It's
there ain't nothing wrong with that.
Not at all. It's like the world's live audiobook right
Yeah.
there. So and you know, she did a little good Harley Quinn impression as she's reading. I was like, yeah, get into it. It was good. It was nice. It was like breakfast. All right, you just gotta have it. And but I mean, for being a number, you know, this is 57. They've got more, but this is just jumping into a part where Harley's going through some things in her life, where their mom's being sick, and you know, she's not with the Joker anymore. She left the Joker. She's trying to get her life straight, as straight as Harley Quinn can get it. It's Harley Quinn. Yeah. And something's happened, and there's a murder, and they're trying to pin it on the Joker, but he's nowhere to be found at the moment. So they're like, oh, it must have been Harley trying to frame him because she's pissed at him. But I mean, you know, so you get some really good artwork of Batman in there too, also confronting Harley and talking about it. You know, you got a good action scene. And I mean, I want to say more about the beginning of it, but it's just such an amazing start, the way they open up the comic, that's just when I'd be like, you all have to find this book and pick it up and read it, just to be like, wow, no way, because you wouldn't see it coming, not in a million years.
So it's easy to pick right up and.
Oh yeah, it's like I'm always iffy about jumping right in, like in the middle of a series, but this book literally jumped right into the beginning of a new story that was going on in her life, and it caught me from the back, and I did not want to put it down. It really did. It was fantastic, and that, like I said, the ending was the perfect cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Well, I collect Harley, or keep up with Harley, just on certain of the variant covers.
Yeah.
Some of the beautiful covers that's coming out is from the Harley Quinn run. I haven't read any. Have you read anything with Harley?
No, not in a long time.
Yeah. But like I say, some of the variant covers has been beautiful.
Yeah.
But with that review, I might go home and open them up.
It is a definite.
So what would you rate the artwork on that?
I mean, I would go. I'm iffy about giving anything a 10, so I'd go 9.8.
So the inside looks as good.
It
as
is.
The
Oh
outside.
yeah.
Okay.
It is some. I mean, it's not life. This outside's more of
yeah.
life, but it is really good. It is really good art. And the storyline, I would give also a 9. So like as a whole, I would give this comic book a 10
as a whole.
as a whole, because I mean I loved this comic book.
What would age group would you?
I'd go low teens because it's not vulgar. I don't think it had any profanity in it as far as cussing. She's very, she's dressed like Harley Quinn. Appropriate, inappropriate. That's for parents to decide on. But I mean, I definitely recommend it, and it's definitely going on the pull list. If y'all know anything, I'm on eBay trying to find the whole series now because I mean, after reading this one book, I'm caught. And like I said, I'm really thankful for my wife. Thank you, baby, because she's like I said, if it weren't for her, I would have never found this book anyway. And like I said, I started buying the series. It's definitely a pull list. If we get any more in the shop, highly recommend it. Highly.
Well, Harley comes in every month. We have Harley coming in every month. Professor Terry pointed out something that I knew about this particular book. If you can find this cover for between $30 and $60, you better grab it because
So that's jumped up that much.
that was jumped up that
wow.
much.
But yeah, I mean, all in all, this was a great read, which was nice to come back and read something like this and review on something like this after last week's crapshoot.
You're welcome for that.
Thank you for that, by the way.
Well, see, you wouldn't appreciate that as much
No.
if you had read the
Yeah, that's the other thing, I mean, you review bad comics, but you can't really grasp the full effect of a good comic until you've read an awful comic.
until you get that battle.
But I mean, that's all I can say on this. It's a great book. I recommend it. And I'd say any age limit could read this book. I mean, it's really good, and it's a good start-off point, too. If you don't want to go back and read 1 through 56, it was a nice jump on it.
Well, Harley, she's making it big. They've even came out with the old Harley series for her, too.
Yeah.
And then the old lady Harley run. Don't want to give anything away to somebody who may not have read it, but she married Nightwing
Yeah.
in that.
Oh, is that the one she ended up marrying Nightwing in? Okay.
Good series, too. But that's all I can say on that one.
Well, Black Hammer, we appreciate it.
Anytime. Deuces, YouTube world.
We'll see you next time. All right, next up we got Andy Yank with his independent Black Devils Die AF.
Yeah.
So we'll let you get started on that.
Just a word of warning, that cover is the best you're going to get out of this dumpster fire of a comic. This artwork is some of the most horrendous crap I have ever seen. I can personally do better in Windows 98 Paint than what they have had in this book. The story is so squandered on because it makes no sense and it's just racist little jibes throughout the entire thing. But the story had an interesting premise. Black people are the only ones that have superpowers, and not all black people. But this is dealing with a more of a tie-off of the regular Black series, to where a new kind of synthetic drug that's coming around. They even state, cheaper than ecstasy, more than high and everything, there's no downside. In these people, though, when they take more of it, it starts mutating their powers, making them lash out. You would think that'd be interesting. If they somehow screw that up so bad, and the only one positive thing in this entire story is there's one little tiny bubble. When they're trying to apprehend this drug addict, and he's trying to go out the window, and the other guy actually pops up at the window, and in the bubble he says, "Do you have a moment to speak about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ?" And that's the only good thing in this book, besides the cover. I mean, they have one character. It didn't take me until a page later and going back into that panel to realize he didn't have an arm. He had one arm, and it took me a couple pages later, a couple panels later, of seeing said character to realize he only had one arm. That is horrendous artwork. This is choppily edited. It's like you're missing 5 or 6 panels in between a fight or in between a conversation. It's just characters are going every which way. The artwork, you can't tell what anything's going on. At the beginning of it, one black guy gets his drugs, walks off, and another guy comes in and looks the exact same. And not being racist, but that's just how bad the artwork is. It's just the same guy that left with the drugs came back to get more drugs that fast.
Well, there's one thing about it. He never messed up one time on that review.
And I did not curse. I tried my best. Because, oh, did I.
He was excited.
The positive that I can say about it is he had to read it and I didn't.
Yeah. Yeah. And, we don't want to say, Marvel and DC's both come out with some crappy things.
Yeah.
Marvel, more so for me, they've took some characters that I've loved and just destroyed them. But you can't base, Independent's been worse than the rest of them. But, there is some good Independent out there. So
There's some real good independent stuff out there.
So just because it's Independent don't mean it's bad. It's just that one's bad, apparently.
And I mean, I've even seen online some of the main storyline because the person that did the main art in that, he's a phenomenal artist. The characters look really good. It's just, I mean, they just seem like they really didn't care at all putting this together. And I mean, this is on the same release schedule as Doomsday Clock because issue 1 came out in December. Issue 3 just released this past week.
Well, let's get to the rating. What do you rate the artwork?
We can't do zeros, right?
Nah, you got to at least be on
0.1.
1. All right.
0.1.
So I'm going to assume the storyline's right there at it.
Every once in a while you get, like I said, you get little hints of where the story can actually be good. But it just gets tied
Well,
down.
did it leave you any hope that it will get better? Or is it you just think that's just the way it's going to be all the way through it? So you're not going to go out and rush to get the number 2 one?
It'll be a cold day in hell before I get issue 2.
Well, there you have it, fellas, girls, guys, everybody. It sucks. There ain't no hope for it.
According to Jonathan.
Gordon Jonathan, our independent guy.
And I even like some stupid
Yeah,
crap.
yeah. Now, I've seen some stuff that he's liked. So if he's disliked that, I wouldn't even attempt to read it myself. But we appreciate your honesty.
Well, thank you. I'm glad I could finally get that off my chest about that comic.
And yeah, we want to say that he chooses what he does. So that's all on him. We didn't just set him up. He actually read this one and decided to do a review on it. I'm assuming to save y'all from getting a hold of it.
Yes.
So we appreciate him for that.
Thank you, guys.
And next, finally, this week, Professor Terry.
Yeah. Fresh Terry's finally here. He's finally he ain't feeling the best, but he's finally.
We'll have a demon crawl from hell. I'll make it.
All right.
Our question this time out, and I'm just going to throw a random book up to catch the camera. And the question we have for him has nothing to do with the book that we just put up. Darkseid. We were wondering where his first appearance was and how you think the character has developed from that point.
First appearance of Darkseid, well, there's a cameo appearance in November 1970. Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen. First full appearance will be February 1971, Forever People #1. Darkseid is one of those, if you're like me, you like villains, he's a badass of all badasses. And he's an enduring character because he's always there in the DC universe. When he's not a threat, he's there. Superman might be fighting this threat, or one of them might be fighting this threat, but in the back of their mind, they know that he's there. You don't defeat him and just put him in jail, where he don't just go away. Apocalypse is there, he is there. He's after one thing only, and that's domination of the DC universe. He's been searching for the anti-life equation, which is to wipe out all free will of the universe. That's, if you read the Cosmic Odyssey, if anyone remembers that book, it's all about that and how he's trying to achieve that goal. Right now, he's been in the Justice League Odyssey book, which I do not keep up with.
And my wife actually reads that one.
So maybe she probably agree with me. He's not there to be a team player. You know, he is there to get his full power back. Right now, he's very depowered compared to what he usually is. So he's just trying to achieve those ends to get back to where he was, to be that Lord of Apocalypse, and whatever his next goals are, that's what he's planning. Of course, it's going to play out eventually somewhere. As you know, DC's going to roll out a lot of dark side things to compete with Marvel in both comics and cinema, because you know how successful they were with Thanos. So dark side, you know, I'd be looking for that next few years.
Yeah, we'll tell you how bad Darkseid is. That Thanos was the one that was. They created Thanos off of Darkseid.
Yes. Yeah. Actually, anything, you know, Jim Starlin reading an interview with him, who created Thanos, said, if anything, it looked like Metron. And they said, well, you know, if you're going to rip off from you guys, rip off the really good one, Darkseid. So he said, I beefed him up some more.
Yeah.
So yeah, Thanos is pretty much a copy of Darkseid, even though they're very different in a lot of the ways and what their goals are.
Oh yeah.
Darkseid's still the original badass, if you have to. But his presence always felt, you know, in the DC universe, even when you just don't see him.
Yeah, and as comics, you know, we know who Darkseid is, but he's not really had his film debut, has he?
No.
As far as his powers and stuff.
No, and we're hoping that Justice League they're going to do that. Probably not the next one. It looked like if anybody's seen Justice League, looks like they're going to go toward the end Justice League. But surely enough, they'll roll out Darkseid.
Well, if they brought Steppenwolf in like he did on the last
Yes.
one, surely they could bring that Darkseid in.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, if you're like me and you're just dying for that and hoping that you're not, you know, old and gray before they finally get it out. But, you know, Darkseid. I mean, what can more I say? He's just a super badass, great villain. I like. Got multiple comics of his with his appearances and action figures of him. I just click what I like, and he's one of my favorites for sure.
As far as on a cosmic scale, would you rate him? What would you rate him as a 1 to 10 as far as lethality would go?
Well, 10 definitely. The Omega beams. I mean, he can just disintegrate you or send you back in time. But yeah, I mean, really, you know, I was reading up on who would, like Thanos and Darkseid, who would be the more powerful and who would win. It's still Darkseid.
Okay.
It's still Darkseid. I mean, Thanos is a badass, but Darkseid just got the edge right there. He's just basically unkillable.
So you're saying he'd be the DC's top of the list
I think
as
so.
far as villains?
When it comes to the cosmic scale, yes. I mean, you've got your Lex Luthor and your Jokers and others.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But when the cosmic wise, and if I'm DC, I'm going to be rolling some Darkseid that stuff out now. Got to compete with Marvel in the comics and in the cinema.
Yeah, because Thanos has killed it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
They've done well with Thanos.
Yeah.
They really have. Not disappointing, especially in this next movie, which I can't talk about. Most people haven't seen it yet.
yeah, we try not to give away spoilers, especially when some of us ain't watched it here in the group.
That would be me.
Well, Timmy, Black Hammer hadn't watched it yet. So, but Professor Terry's going to be a regular with us. He's our go-to guy. Him and Mark both are. But even if Mark don't know, we can usually go to Terry. He'll fill us in. On our Facebook page, we'll have every week we'll have either ask Terry a question, professor question, or a stump question if you want to try to stump him with a question. I don't see it happening, but I'd like to see people try. So go ahead and ask the questions on there, and we'll make sure we read them to the professor. But we appreciate it. You got anything you want to ask?
Go to the comments, like the video, and throw a question in there for him. I would like for somebody to try to, especially in the mainstream books, to ask a question that Terry couldn't answer. That would be an interesting time.
Because out of, 2 years now, I haven't been able to stump him.
Got to be something though.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
Be fun,
yeah.
be fun.
Yeah. But we thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I guess we're up on our own now, ain't we?
Yep, I think it's up to us.
All right, buddy. You want to do the covers?
Cover of the week.
Yeah.
You want to do cover of the week?
Yeah, okay.
Cover of the week. Detective Comics 1003. Daniel did not agree with this decision, but everybody else voted, and he was the only one that picked the Catwoman.
Yeah, I picked the Catwoman. I can see where they're coming from. It is a little darker than what we like. It was like the Deathstroke last week, but it was just something about that cover, and it could be where it was Selena. But I had to pick that cover, but everybody else picked the Detective Comics. But it is a beautiful cover. You know, that would have been the one I picked. The other one we had to choose from was the one you saw a minute ago, was the Spider-Man. We did have one vote for it too, but it ended up being the Detective Comics, which again, not a bad looking cover.
And Detective Comics number 1004 will be the variant cover on it. Will be a connecting cover with 1003.
Okay.
So as you put them together, it'll make one big picture.
Well, there's two reasons to get a beautiful cover, and the second one to coming on the way.
Okay. Our review for the week. We read Batman and the Outsiders number 1.
Can you see it? Now, they've had the Batman and the Outsiders before. I believe this is, well, we can ask Professor Terry, is this the third time that they're doing these, or the fourth time?
Might be
Fourth time.
series.
Yeah. But they just came out with the number 1 again. I thought it was a really good book.
I did too. I was impressed by the art all the way through. And you had character development right straight out the gate.
Well, you know, again, that first page, you know, it don't really jump out and get you. The artwork does. You know, the artwork, again, all the way through page to page is beautiful. But when you flip that cover, you know, that's when it all starts. Leads you right up to the end. You know, you're excited. You're on the edge of your seat reading it, or I was.
It was a good book. It was a good read.
Maybe a little bit of spoiler, but it introduces another character, and it's going to be DC's version of Cable, it looks like.
Kind of looks that way.
But well, let's go to rating it. What do you rate everything?
I'm going to give the story an 8.9, an 8.9, and I'm going to give the art a 9.
Yeah, the art, it deserves a 9 all day long. Story, you can see where they're wanting to go with it, and it's going to be good, but again, it's not 9 level yet. You know, I agree with you there. Not to say take anything away from it, because it does leave you open to see where it's going to go, and it leaves you again on the edge of your seat wanting the next run to be out, or the copy to be out. So I recommend it. I'd say teen up, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing really. A few gory, bloody scenes, but nothing.
Nothing overly. And like I say, don't go off of our ratings, parents. Look at the books yourself.
Oh yeah,
and judge for yourself. But both of us have kids, so we're gonna go with what we would let our own kids read.
Yeah. We don't want to try to influence anybody, especially when it comes to kids. We want this to be a long-lasting impression on all ages. We want to see it continue, so we don't want to traumatize anybody, you know. But use your own discretion. But I'm saying, you know, 10 to up. My belief.
Yeah. I would let my 7-year-old read it.
Yeah. But it's good. One, not the best read. You know, we've had some that's just blew us out of water. But it's, you know, it's worth getting. It's worth the pull.
It's a number 1. It's a good place to start if you want to start a new series, and it's gonna. I believe it'll introduce another new character on down the line. Not only the one that you referred to, but another one. I believe that will probably wind up being a new either Outsiders villain or team member.
Yeah. And because this is going to be an ongoing run. I mean, it's not like a series, a mini-series or anything, is it?
No, it should be an ongoing run.
So, we recommend it. Like I say, I enjoyed it. So,
the other book that we did
it's the throwback, it's
a facsimile edition
of the Defenders number 1. I'll let you start this one.
I liked it. It was old school, start to finish. Even the ads are the original ads from the book. The story was what you would expect out of that time frame. I would recommend that one to any age group.
Yeah.
That's it's
Yeah, that'd be a good bedtime story for you. You know, the one you're rocking in your arms. Again, you know, I love the nostalgia of it. Takes you back to a simpler time.
It does.
Again, it's going to be the same artwork as back in the day. Like I said, the same ads. I forgot how much I was raised up a Hulk fan. Lou Ferrigno was my hero and is still my hero when it comes to superheroes. I forgot how much I enjoyed the Hulk after I read that, because the Immortal Hulk kind of just shot me away from him. But actually getting back into that's my childhood there, you know, the Hulk and how he, you know, acted and talked. And it kind of brought back good memories growing up.
Yeah, and I recommend it too. If I had to choose between the two books as something to add to my personal collection, I would probably go with the Batman and the Outsiders, and that's not trying to take anything away from this book.
No. Well, as you know, as an adult now, you know, I mean, that took me back to childhood, and I always hold a special place in my heart. But you know, looking at it through my eyes now, that was a better read, more of a mature feeling to it than this one. Not like I say, not taking nothing away from that. But again, you do have the old art, you do have the old way of talking, the language, you know, no bad language or nothing, just thou has not vexed me enough, you know, kind of, with, you know, it had Doctor Strange in it. So, yeah, I'd have to go for I just hit the flipping mic again. I do have to go with the Batman and the Outsiders. But, I would rate that one, artwork, an 8. Again, we're old school, and then the storyline, you know, for the timeline, it was an 8.
Yeah.
You know, I ain't going to hold it by today's standards. You can't, you know, and be fair with it, but
It's a classic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a classic, and you can't take anything away from it being a classic.
Because if it wasn't for these, they wouldn't have that.
these. Yeah.
So, you know, I give the props to the old school stuff. But yeah, I loved how, you know, like I say, I sat over there and I was like a kid. I was laughing, the Hulk talking, you know, Hulk smash, you know, Hulk or lava hurt Hulk foot, you know, just the whole. It ain't like it's a brand new comic; it's a throwback. So you know, spoilers was kind of out the window with it. But yeah, it's just a simpler time. But yeah, we want to thank everybody again. Again, I'm glad to see the professor finally here. We enjoy doing this, or I do. Everybody seems like it's the highlight of their week. It is mine. You know, and we get to share the love of something that we love with everybody and with each other. Get to hang out. You know, it's just, you know, we like our man in spandex. But
Did you just do Skeletor over there?
yeah, now see, you're supposed to do that over here. What happened? You forgot, didn't you? Because I did. Well, to send us off, let's do the Chewbacca again. That is freaking awesome. Don't worry, Tech Guy. I'm not going to ask you. That was. Ah! Help me! I have fallen.
You guys.
All right, do Skeletor real fast.
Catch us next time.
There you go. And with that, we say goodnight. Oh, yeah. Don't forget to like and subscribe, share with your friends. And just get us out there. Like I say, we want to share the love. So
Have a good time wherever you are.
Yeah.
Make sure you visit your local comic shop. If you have a local comic shop, please go to the local comic shop, because it's hard to keep one up and running and open if everybody's ordering it offline and you don't want to shut down your local network to be able to get the things that you love and enjoy.
yeah, and do like we do on Saturdays. Just gather a bunch of people around the comic shop, carry on, cut up. You know, it's fun. And like I said, we don't want to run no little small business out. I mean, if it went for them, none of us be here.
June 8th and 9th, if you're anywhere close to Mountain City, show up for Dragons Mountain Comic Con. We're going to have some fantastic artists there. Albert Morales will be there. Kevin Hawkins will be there. We have Steven Simones will be there, and we call it the biggest little convention in Northeast Tennessee.
And some local artists, really good local artists. It's going to be there. We have a new logo. Want to do a shout out to Brittany Dunn. She's the one that designed our logo. So check out her page. It's Moon Bunny Arts on Facebook. See some of her artwork. She'll be there. But we do appreciate it.
And from us here at Green Dragon, come in and see us on Saturdays or any other day of the week.
Or else. All right, y'all have a good